The Great Migration is not the only battle for survival in Africa. For the predators of Botswana, there is another great migration. Harsher, longer, the zebra migration. Today, we enter one of Africa's most unforgiving arenas. Zebra versus lion in the Wild Botswana. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, this land was one of the largest freshwater lakes on Earth, larger than all of Switzerland. Today, a salt crust 4 meters deep, lying over the ancient lakebed, dried out since prehistory. 588 kilometers across the salt pan, across scorched grassland to the Boteti River, and back. In the last rains before the herd departs, a foal is born with a crippled leg. 588 kilometers lie ahead. 15,000 animals. 588 kilometers. 3 moments are coming, none predictable. The Makgadikgadi lion pride is about to learn. The white salt pan and the dense riverbank are 2 very different battlegrounds. It will never outrun the herd. The question is, can it stay close enough? Makgadikgadi pans cover 8,494 square kilometers, the flattest salt surface in Africa. Every year, when the first rains touch the earth, protein content in fresh grass is 3 times that of dry season grass. Zebra navigate by the Earth's magnetic field, star positions, and the scent of wet grass after rain. When the salt pan reaches peak heat, the herd turns toward the Boteti River, toward water, toward life. This foal cannot. The left hind leg does not flex at the correct angle, cannot bear full weight. Its maximum speed is 60% of age-matched individuals in the herd. And the 588-kilometer journey begins in a matter of weeks. Limping inside a herd of 15,000 is a state of exceptional vulnerability. Predators do not attack into the center of the herd. They look for the irregular. Different gait, disrupted rhythm, trailing position. All are signals. An adult lion detects abnormal gait from up to 500 meters. The prize of the fight, 7 to 10 mares, all foals with them, and the right to decide the family's direction of travel in the coming migration. The winner leads the herd, the loser departs alone. Death is rare. But a stallion that newly takes a harem will attack foals that are not his own. They need to assert their genetic claim over the mares, and the unfortunate foal becomes the mechanism by which the mare cycles back to a new male. A lion on the salt pan is ill-equipped. This tawny coat evolved over 2 million years to dissolve into tall grass and tree shadow. Against a reflective white sodium carbonate surface, it is useless. The Makgadikgadi salt surface reflects over 90% of daylight. The lion lights up like a beacon against the white. Zebra possess approximately 320-degree vision, near panoramic coverage. Their blind spots, roughly 65 degrees behind the head and 10 degrees directly in front of the nose. On the flat, featureless salt pan, they cannot approach from a blind spot. When the herd moves together, the black and white stripes create a dazzle effect in motion. The predator evolved hearing and scent for the night. The prey evolved eyes and panoramic vision for the day. On the salt pan in daylight, the predator cannot win. Night is the only weapon left. The Makgadikgadi lions do not leave. The salt pan holds them. Prey come for the minerals. Predators come for the prey. And when the migration begins, the salt pan lions and the Boteti population will share overlapping territory. Two populations of the same species, two completely different tactics. The Makgadikgadi lions learn to wait on the open plain. The Boteti lions learn to ambush at the narrow water point. Two geographic traps, two different moments, two different groups of predators. The zebra migration is not a journey from A to B. It is a journey between two ambush points. Temperature drops from 40 degrees Celsius to near zero as the sun disappears. Adult zebra counter the darkness by moving continuously within the herd, relying on collective sound, collective scent, and 30,000 pairs of eyes watching every direction. Lions hunting nocturnally on the salt pan apply the sit-and-wait strategy. Effective strike range in darkness, 30 to 50 meters. Success rate, 35 to 45%. The gap between the lame foal and the herd widens with each step. The lions are awake. The first night on the salt pan begins. Near 0 degrees, a newborn zebra foal has a higher surface area to volume ratio than an adult and loses heat 3 to 4 times faster. Safe core temperature, 37 to 38 degrees Celsius. In 5 degrees Celsius conditions, without the warmth of the mare's body, hypothermia risk arrives. Within 2 to 3 hours. Below 34 degrees Celsius, muscle function begins to fail. Below 30 degrees Celsius, cardiac rhythm destabilizes. It cannot move fast enough to generate muscle heat. It cannot find shelter. There is no shelter on the flat salt pan. It does not call. It simply lies and waits. A few hundred meters to the west, in the same night, the dead stallion's harem is fragmenting into small groups. No stallion to lead. The harem loses social cohesion within hours. A pregnant mare alone in the darkness. No stallion, no herd to mask her scent or her sound. This is the second consequence of the afternoon stallion fight. The winner has not yet established control. A power vacuum in a zebra group. Predators recognize it first. A newborn wildebeest, Conochates taurinus, stands and gallops within 7 minutes of birth. A normal zebra foal takes 30 to 60 minutes. This lame foal will never reach herd speed. The handicap is not a phase, it is the definition of its entire journey. Meerkat. Kalahari residents, a completely different survival strategy. A meerkat group runs 10 to 30 individuals, living in burrows up to 2 meters deep. Temperature inside the burrow is up to 15 degrees Celsius more stable than the surface on a cold night. When a storm arrives or temperatures drop, the entire group retreats into the burrow. Protection from temperature, rain, and digging predators. Collective intelligence carries the whole group through nights that a lone individual could not survive. The lame foal has no collective, no sentinel, no burrow. Every morning after a cold night, core temperature sits 2 to 3 degrees Celsius below the safe threshold. Two small creatures, two completely opposing survival strategies. Collective intelligence versus individual stillness. This contrast is not coincidental within the Makgadikgadi ecosystem. Both must face the same temperature extremes and the same predator guild. Martial eagle and caracal take meerkat. Lion and hyena take zebra. Flamingo sense the drop in atmospheric pressure. Mass departure occurs 6 to 12 hours before the storm arrives. When thousands of flamingos spiral into the sky at once, it is the most accurate weather forecast on the salt pan. Flamingos absent means a storm is coming. A Makgadikgadi summer storm, temperature dropping from 38 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius in under 2 hours. Sheet lightning over a flat surface with no conductor, every animal becomes a target. Lions do not hunt in the storm. Nothing moves that night. The flamingos left 12 hours before the storm arrived. The meerkat were underground before the first rain touched the earth. The lame foal cannot detect atmospheric pressure. No collective to warn it. It has one thing, the reflex to flatten to the earth when temperature drops suddenly. Enough to survive that night. Not enough to guarantee the next. Dawn comes from the east. First light on the wet salt. Survival was not random. The lame foal did exactly one thing right. Absolute silence and absolute stillness. The salt pan collects rainwater into temporary pools on the surface. Zebra drink from this last temporary source before the long migration begins. The flamingos return. Artemia, the brine shrimp, explode in population within 48 to 72 hours after rainwater dilutes the salt concentration. Flamingo presence means water remains sufficient for Artemia. Flamingo absence means water has dried, salt has reconcentrated. The most accurate bioindicator on the salt pan. Zebra do not need baroreceptors. They read the flamingos. Meerkat do not need the flamingos. They read the smell of wet earth. The lame foal reads none of those signals. It reads one thing only, the direction the herd is moving, and the herd is moving west. The dry season arrives. Water on the salt pan disappears within 3 weeks. Food and water disappear together. Meerkat shift strategy, digging for beetles, spiders and scorpions beneath the dry sand. Zebra must travel 294 kilometers to reach the next water source. Meerkat only need to dig 30 centimeters into damp sand beneath their feet. 3 weeks after the storm, the zebra herd begins licking the Earth's surface. This is pica, mineral supplementation behavior when grass has lost its protein. Sodium and calcium remain on the salt surface. When the herd is eating earth instead of grass, migration is no longer a tendency. The herd grows restless. Stallions turn their heads west, toward the Boteti River. The migration begins. If a young zebra falls more than 1 kilometer behind the harem within 2 hours, 73% do not reunite with the harem that same day. The lame foal reaches 60% of herd speed on flat terrain. On dry, rocky ground, speed drops to 45 to 50%. The left hind leg failing more on uneven surfaces. The zebra harem structure during migration: stallion leads, mares and foals follow. The entire harem moves as a unit. Speed is set by the lead stallion. Zebra have no social mechanism to hold back for the slow. The herd does not stop. Stopping loses 1 day of travel. Losing 1 day means 1 more night without water. No exceptions. Migration begins before dawn when temperature is lowest. Zebra move while ground temperature is below 30 degrees Celsius, avoiding the 40 degrees Celsius midday peak. Optimal movement window: 5 to 9 in the morning, 17 to 20 in the evening. The left hind leg performs better on cooler ground, firmer surface, less slip. The Makgadikgadi lions track herd movement by hearing and scent from 2 kilometers. The lame foal begins to walk west. Dawn, the salt pan gleaming after rain, no sound of lions. It stands there, limping but upright. One night, alone, still standing. In the zebra harem structure, a stallion and the mother mare do not return to find a foal that fell behind overnight. But the herd stopped close enough, long enough, and the lame foal stayed close enough, long enough. Last night, the herd rested, and the lame foal was completely silent throughout the darkness. The silence of the lame foal last night was not learned behavior. There is no mechanism for active behavioral learning in a zebra foal within its first 10 days of life. What it demonstrated was the freeze reflex, the freeze response, one of 3 reactions. When the sympathetic nervous system simultaneously receives multiple danger signals past threshold. Fight or flight. When the body has sufficient resources, speed, strength, or numbers to support it. It became invisible through complete stillness, on a flat surface in darkness. 15,000 zebra moving at once. The salt pan trembles under their hooves. When dehydration reaches the threshold of 8% of body weight, families and herds simultaneously turn west. This is the survival threshold. They must find water within 24 hours or lose the ability to thermoregulate and stabilize core temperature entirely. And when that momentum peaks, 15,000 zebra merge into one, operating in unison like a single organism. This is the longest and largest scale terrestrial zebra migration remaining on the African continent. and within it, one animal limping, each step slower than the rest. Why 15,000 animals at once? The answer is pure probability. In 1971, biologist W.D. Hamilton modeled this behavior through the selfish herd effect. Under this model, each individual driving toward the center of the herd is not acting from altruism toward its neighbors. It is minimizing its own domain of danger, the zone of vulnerability surrounding itself. The result, the herd moves as a dense mass. When the group grows from 10 to 100 animals, the probability of any individual being selected by a predator drops tenfold. When the herd exceeds 500 animals, a lion can no longer effectively track a specific individual. Its eyes are overwhelmed by the continuous uniform movement pattern. Predation rate drops approximately 40% in large herds, compared to groups under 100. The herd does not protect the individual. Numbers simply dilute risk to a precise threshold, enough for one weak, limping animal to extend its life by one more day. The Boteti riverbank carries brush 2 to 3 meters high, canopy dense enough to completely conceal a lion lying motionless at full length. This is lion terrain, and 20,000 zebra are converging on this single water source, with no alternative. The wattled lapwing nests on the river sandbank. The eggs are almost indistinguishable from the surrounding sand. 2 to 3 eggs per season. Incubation period, 26 to 28 days. Required incubation temperature, a continuous 37 degrees Celsius. When 20,000 zebra simultaneously need to drink, at a river stretch no longer than 2 kilometers, there is no one small enough to yield to anyone. Pressure at this point pushes everything to its limit. The zebra herd yields no space to a calf of another species. This is not cruelty in any moral sense. This is the mechanics of scarce resources. The herd is drinking. Thousands pressing together at a river stretch no longer than 300 meters. Month 11 of gestation. Heavier, slower. Center of gravity shifted. The fetus is compromising the ability to change direction instantly. When sprinting from a standstill, erases the margin between life and death. Her stallion scans the riverbank, following scent, calling, no answer. Month 11 of gestation, all of it gone in one moment. The stallion calls again. The call carries through the brush and disappears into the sound of the herd still pressing at the bank. The herd moves on. Migration does not stop for anything. There is no morning in the Makgadikgadi ecosystem, no time to stop. The stallion searches one final time, then follows the herd, not because the feeling is gone, because the mares remaining in the harem also need water, also need to move, also need a stallion to lead. This is the rule no one stated. In a 588-kilometer migration, every hour stopped is an hour without water for the mares still living. Physiologically, a 120-kilogram lioness can consume 25 to 30 kilograms of meat in a single feeding. After that meal, the body requires 18 to 36 hours to digest and recover, while core temperature rises 1 to 1.5 degrees Celsius during digestion, from thermogenic energy production. In those 36 hours, the lion does not hunt effectively. Energetics demonstrate that a second kill within 36 hours of the first full meal yields negative net energy gain for the lion. Digestion consumes more energy than the additional prey provides. At this crowded riverbank, the survival rule has inverted. It is not the slowest that gets pushed to the dangerous edge first. Slow, but they are forced to move. Month 3 at the Boteti River. The zebra herd drinks before dawn. When temperature is still below 25 degrees Celsius, moves to grassland as the day brightens, returns before dusk, as the lions shift to nocturnal mode. 60 kilometers per day, every day. Then 70 when the nearer zones are exhausted. Then 80 as the dry season enters its final week. A 250-kilogram zebra burns 8,000 kilocalories per day, just to move and maintain core temperature at 37 degrees Celsius. 80 kilometers per day, under 42 degrees Celsius, consumes nearly all the energy gained from poor quality grass. Net gain near zero. In practice, every day at the Boteti is a slight negative. Protein deficit accumulating, grass growing ever farther, the herd's resilience diminishing. The ecosystem does not allow the herd to stay too long. When resources reach the depletion threshold, physiological pressure forces movement. This is the natural grassland management mechanism, allowing 8 months of recovery before the herd returns the following season. The herd is surviving, not thriving. Across the salt pan, the meerkat are still here. Meerkat move 30 centimeters down into damp earth, then back up. 2 survival strategies in the same ecosystem. Survival is all the herd needs to continue, because what waits to the east will compensate for everything. Not a storm like the night on the salt pan 90 days ago. Steady, even rain, 50 to 80 millimeters over 6 hours, enough to trigger grass germination without eroding the salt surface. Temperature drops from 40 degrees Celsius to 18 degrees Celsius in one afternoon. The smell of wet earth, petrichor from geosmin, a compound secreted by actinobacteria in soil when water arrives. After extended drought spreads west on the wind, zebra detect it before they see the clouds. Zebra olfactory receptors are sensitive to geosmin at concentrations of 5 nanograms per liter of air, equivalent to the scent of wet earth detectable. From over 50 kilometers in favorable wind, the olfactory signal arrives hours before the visual. Grass grows within 7 to 10 days of sufficient first rain, Protein in fresh Makgadikgadi grass after first season rains reaches 15 to 20% of dry weight. Compared to the dry riverside grass the herd ate for 3 months, at only 3%, 5 to 7 times the protein. This is the reason everything in the past 90 days happened. Why the herd crossed 294 kilometers of waterless salt pan. Why the herd endured 80 kilometers per day at the Boteti. Why the herd stood outside brush-holding lions and waited their turn to drink. All of it in exchange for the chance to return exactly when grass peaks in nutrition. On the eastern salt pan, flamingos appear. Flamingos only land when Artemia, the brine shrimp, have reproduced to sufficient density. Artemia reproduce when 3 conditions occur simultaneously: salinity below 30 parts per thousand, water temperature above 15 degrees Celsius, and photoperiod exceeding 12 hours of light per day. The rain just diluted the salinity. Summer means photoperiod is at threshold. Air temperature is still high enough to keep the water warm. Flamingos detect this through baroreceptors, sensitive to changes in atmospheric pressure, 6 to 12 hours before rain. When the flamingos arrive, the salt pan is reviving. From NASA Landsat satellites at 700 kilometers altitude, the pink mass of 200,000 flamingos against Makgadikgadi white looks like a vast pink cloud descending to Earth. East, the return migration begins. GPS data shows the return route tracks the outbound route to within 15 kilometers, despite no map existing, outside the spatial memory of each individual. Return speed is 20 to 30% faster than outbound, not because the herd is stronger after 3 months at the Boteti. The herd is thinner and more depleted, because the geosmin scent from wet Makgadikgadi earth is still arriving from the east, growing stronger on the afternoon wind. And because each animal carries a bodily memory of the source of that scent, the white salt pan with green grass, no brush taller than the knee. The lame foal in the eastward herd steps slower than the rest. It has traveled 294 kilometers from Makgadikgadi to the Boteti, with a left hind leg that does not bear weight normally. It survived the storm night alone on the salt pan, escaped the predator night, witnessed the herd lose a member and continue without looking back, and now 294 kilometers home, 588 kilometers total in roughly 45 days, with a left hind leg that does not bear weight normally. It steps east, slow, but stepping. The herd approaches Makgadikgadi. The journey is nearly complete. And now, within the returning crowd, something happens that few have ever witnessed. The biological nature of this event is brutal but clear. When a foal not of the stallion's bloodline is eliminated, the mare's lactation cycle ends immediately. The cessation of lactation causes progesterone and prolactin levels to drop, stimulating a strong rebound in FSH. When FSH rises, the mare's estrus cycle resumes within 7 to 10 days. For comparison, if the foal survives to weaning age, it takes 12 to 16 months before the mare can conceive again. By one successful attack, the stallion gains a massive reproductive advantage: access to his own genetic transmission opportunity 14 months sooner. Vultures locate through the soaring signal. One discovering triggers the response of 50 others within 5 to 10 minutes. This stallion behavior is not cruelty in any moral sense. It is an evolutionary mechanism selected over millions of years. When stallions maximize genetic transmission opportunity within a finite lifespan, the average stallion controls a harem 2 to 4 years before being replaced by a younger, stronger male. Every month without a reproductive opportunity is a portion of that finite window lost. There is no morality in evolutionary mechanism, only outcome. SSI documented in over 50 mammal species, from lion to dolphin. The selective pressure is identical across all, adult males shortening the wait. To the next reproductive opportunity, Makgadikgadi zebra stallions control a harem, an average of 24 to 36 months before replacement. Each 14 months saved through successful SSI means one additional reproductive cycle within the entire harem control window. And the result? The Makgadikgadi ecosystem holds nothing longer than necessary for the next cycle, and the next cycle is beginning now. Makgadikgadi, the ancient salt pan, formed hundreds of thousands of years ago, bone white and perfectly still. 4 meters of salt crust covering an ancient lakebed, dried since prehistory, holds no trace of 20,000 pairs of hooves that passed in 45 days. The salt pan holds no memory, but the zebra herd does. The grass is growing. Protein, 15 to 20% of dry weight. The mares at month 12 of gestation are eating the richest grass of the year at precisely the moment the fetus needs it most. The newborn foals will stand upright within 30 to 60 minutes of life. Next year, when the dry season arrives and geosmin scent drifts from the west, they will migrate for the first time. No one will teach the route. No one will draw the map. The 588-kilometer route does not exist in any single neuron. It exists in the system of physiological signals. Geosmin sent from the east, dehydration pressure to the west, and bodily memory of the distance navigable while strength remains. Those 3 signals have sustained the route across enough generations for it to become something a foal that has never traveled it can rediscover within 3 years. This is the loop that has run continuously since the Kuki fence came down in 2004 and a generation of zebra that had never made the journey rediscovered their ancestors' route within 3 years. If you want to follow stories like this, from Botswana and the last wild places on Earth, subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Comment below which surprised you more, stallion infanticide or the lame foal crossing 588 kilometers. We read every comment. Now, let's enter the world of large pack predators. A wild dog pack can thrive through cooperation and sharing. But life within other animal packs is far from free or easy. Within a lion pride, every individual must know its position or face serious consequences. A powerful male lion may hold supreme dominance, but it is the lionesses who carry all the hardest hunting work with skills that have become legendary across the savannah. Yet, once the pride has brought down prey, that kill belongs to the king. First feed is the male lion's supreme privilege. In exchange, responsibility to defend the entire pride and keep his family safe. It is also his reward, the right to mate with all the females and expand his own personal lineage. Under the commander's control, the lionesses support each other in raising the cubs, giving them the best chance of survival. The dominant male is the protector of every cub here. The cubs are his legacy, his continuing generation. He will do whatever is necessary to keep them from danger, even when the young sometimes drive him to fury. When this lioness brings a handsome stranger near, the king knows serious trouble is coming. He goes to find the intruder. The lionesses of the pride are the king's exclusive domain. The intruder's courtship behavior is a direct challenge to him and to the pride's future. There is only one way to settle this. He will fight to the last and remind his females of the law of the dominant. The king's legacy is secure, at least for now. Predators are not the only ones who find strength in numbers. Guinea fowl gather in groups of up to 55, constantly foraging on the ground for insects and seeds. This lifestyle exposes them to high risk of ambush by concealed predators. But when you live in a group, there is always at least one member on sentinel duty. A continuous 360-degree surveillance network with no blind angle. Even the most expertly camouflaged hunters, like the leopard, cannot easily avoid detection by this system. A sharp alarm call rings out, and instantly the entire flock is warned of the danger, just in time to escape. The guinea fowl will not stop calling until the leopard is discouraged and leaves. Their safety lies entirely in numbers. Zebra and wildebeest also use overwhelming numbers to protect themselves from predators. By joining forces, they form a massive superherd across the grasslands. Yet with too many members of different species, discord and fracture begin to emerge within their own ranks. When wildebeest calves are born, a major shift occurs in the peaceful relationship of this super alliance. The weak newborns inadvertently draw predators from all directions, placing the survival of the zebra themselves in jeopardy. This is not something the zebra will tolerate. In a brutal turn, the zebra herd turns to attack the wildebeest calf itself. The alliance that once provided protection has turned against them, becoming the greatest threat to the calf's life. In the heart of lion territory, zebra understand clearly that young animals are an easy meal for large cats. So members that bring high risk to the group must be expelled without mercy for the greater good of the herd. The zebra and wildebeest superherd fractures completely. The wildebeest calf must keep as low a profile as possible. This young calf learned the laws of the herd in the most painful and brutal way. Caldera on Earth, home to mighty black-maned lions. Beneath the towering peak of Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest in Africa, the crowned eagle swoops down, sending troops of monkeys into a frenzy. The Nile crocodile lies still as stone under the glow of sunset, embraced by the world's longest river. Heading south, the Okavango Delta, the largest inland delta, is where African wild dogs hunt together like seasoned warriors. The champions list stretches all the way to the Sahara, the vast hot desert spanning across 11 North African nations. And finally, off the coast of Egypt, reef sharks glide quietly like invisible guardians of the Red Sea reef. 7 wonders. 7 tales of power, harshness, and breathtaking beauty that leaves the world in awe. single day. Beyond its outstanding ecological richness, Ngorongoro is also a rare crossroad of nature and human history. Within the Ngorongoro Conservation Area lie two of the world's most significant archaeological sites, Olduvai Gorge and Laetoli. At Olduvai, researchers uncovered fossils of early humans dating back around 1.9 million years. Nearby in Laetoli, footprints preserved in volcanic ash for 3.6 million years reveal the first steps of our human ancestors. With its exceptional natural and cultural value, Ngorongoro has been recognized by UNESCO as a mixed World Heritage Site, one of the very few places on Earth to hold this dual honor. Deep within the Ngorongoro crater, often described as a primordial arena of life, dwells a bird adorned with a dazzling pink glow, like sunset spilling across salt flats. For the lesser flamingo, a small yet proud species, Ngorongoro crater is an extraordinary natural restaurant in the highlands of Tanzania. At the heart of the crater lies Lake Makgadikgadi, a shallow, salty, alkaline lake that seems inhospitable, yet serves as fertile ground for the explosive growth of cyanobacteria, spirulina. This algae is the near-exclusive food source for the lesser flamingo. Rich in carotenoids, the algae infuse their feathers with the iconic pink hue, as though dyed by the very sun of the equatorial skies. The beak of the lesser flamingo is a remarkable survival tool, designed as a precise, natural filter. When they lower their heads into the water, their upside-down beaks sift through millions of microorganisms and algae suspended in the briny shallows. Inside, the lamellae act like ultrafine combs, separating food from mud and water, while keeping out grains of sand or salt from entering their digestive system. Although found across many regions of Africa, nearly 80% of the world's lesser flamingo population, estimated between 2.2 to 3.2 million individuals as of 2025, now thrives in East Africa. Among these, the majority gather in the great alkaline lakes of the Great Rift Valley, including Lake Natron, Lake Bogoria, Lake Nakuru, and Lake Manyara. Yet none of these landscapes hold the same singular terrain and ecological character as the Ngorongoro crater. Lake Makgadikgadi serves as a vital stopover in their life cycle, a perfect refueling station when the larger lakes dry out, shift in alkalinity, or lose food supplies under the influence of climate change. As the pink glow of the lesser flamingos fades across the salty alkaline lake, the vast Ngorongoro landscape. Sharp talons rule the sky. The pride rules the chase. Armored shields lie in wait. 7 natural wonders of Africa. 7 fierce battlegrounds. The challenges come not only from relentless predators, but also from the land itself. Before diving into these epic encounters, let us know where you are from in the comments below. It is our pleasure to connect with you. And now, welcome to Africa's 7, nature's fiercest battlegrounds. The Great Migration, a roaring whirlwind of millions of wildebeest and zebra on the move. Ngorongoro crater, the largest intact. As the sun sinks beyond the rim of the crater, deep roars echo against the sheer cliffs. It is not only a sound of territory, but a declaration of supremacy from the lion, the apex hunter of the Ngorongoro crater. Recent surveys record the lion population here at about 65 to 75 individuals, divided among roughly 8 prides, with an estimated density of 20 to 25 lions per 100 square kilometers, several times higher than the averages of Serengeti or Kruger. But the males here appear even more formidable, crowned with their dark manes. A lion's mane is influenced by genetics, hormones, and the surrounding climate. Males with darker, even jet-black manes usually carry higher levels of testosterone, enjoy greater reproductive success, and often live longer than their lighter-maned counterparts. In Ngorongoro, more than 60% of adult males display dark manes. In struggles for dominance, the black mane confers both physical advantage and female preference. The roots of such power struggles stretch back to history. In 1962, an outbreak of the biting fly Stomoxys calcitrans wiped out nearly the entire lion population within the crater. Only about 10 to 12 survivors remained, and from this small group, the present population was rebuilt. This event, known as a genetic bottleneck, left the Ngorongoro lions with a high level of inbreeding. Their genetic diversity reduced to roughly 40% compared to neighboring populations such as those of Serengeti. Within, the landscape settles into silence, like a prayer left unfinished. Within this immense 260 square kilometer crater, surrounded by towering cliffs like ancient ramparts, a prehistoric being still endures. Without display, without noise, the black rhinoceros walks slowly across the darkened mud, as if carrying the last breath of wilderness itself. The crater provides every element needed for the black rhinoceros to survive. Steady water sources, such as the Munj stream and the Gorogor swamp, are always close at hand. The varied habitats, from dry grasslands to dense thickets and open woodlands, form an ideal setting for a browser like the black rhinoceros, which prefers low plants, woody shrubs, and fibrous vegetation. Although their number here is only about 30 individuals, because they are concentrated within this relatively contained space, the Ngorongoro crater holds one of the highest densities of black rhinoceros in Africa. Elsewhere, spotting even a single individual is a rare stroke of fortune, but here, the likelihood of encountering them in the wild is far greater. It is not that they are bold, but that the crater itself keeps them enclosed, narrowing their range and shielding them from outside threats. The population here carries extraordinary genetic value. They are not a group reintroduced from elsewhere, but a native lineage, descendants of rhinoceroses that have lived in this region for thousands of years. Their bloodline preserves rare adaptations, seasonal shifts in behavior, acute responsiveness to environmental signals, and a strong independence in survival. In a world where biodiversity is gradually fading, such original genes hold immense importance for long-term research and conservation. The black rhinoceros is a browser. It does not graze on short grass, but instead seeks out shrubs, leafy plants, and woody branches. An adult can consume between 20 and 27 kilograms of food per day. Its digestive system is designed for the slow breakdown of cellulose, paired with feeding habits in the early morning and late afternoon to avoid the heat of the highlands. Their average lifespan ranges from 30 to 40 years in the wild and can extend further under stable conditions such as those in Ngorongoro. The story of Fausta, believed to be the oldest black rhinoceros in the world, who lived to 57 years here, is the clearest testament to the quality of life within Ngorongoro. Fausta was not raised in captivity, but lived mostly in the wild, only being moved into protective care when her health began to fail. Yet Ngorongoro Crater is not only the realm of flamingos and black rhinos, it is also a closed dominion of predators. The serval is a medium-sized cat. Ngorongoro Crater limited territory combines with high prey density. This forces prides to live closer together, sparking territorial clashes more frequently. Two male lions emerge from opposite sides. There is no room for retreat. Their roars shake the air, signaling an imminent clash. Thick, dark manes shield the neck, serving both as a display of power and a natural guard against crushing bites. They collide, 180 kilograms of force slamming together. Claws tear at the earth, white teeth flashing as they reach for the throat. The battle decides more than land. It is the right to pass on bloodlines, to hold the pride, and to ensure the legacy of strength. In the Ngorongoro ecosystem, the victor keeps both territory and breeding rights, while the defeated is pushed out of the social order. The hunting life in Ngorongoro reflects flexibility and keen adaptation. While males spend much of their time patrolling and defending, the lionesses lead the hunts. Working in small groups, they use tall grasses and rolling terrain to close in on prey. The ferocity within Ngorongoro Crater is only one piece of the greater canvas of East African wilderness. Just to the north, the Serengeti Plains unfold into an endless ocean of grass. From afar, the pounding of millions of hooves rolls like drums, heralding the rise of a great migration. This is no ordinary event of nature, but one of the greatest spectacles of wildlife still alive on Earth, the Great Migration. Each year, about 1.5 to 2 million wildebeest, joined by more than 200,000 zebras, 500,000 gazelles, and tens of thousands of eland, embark on a journey spanning more than 800 kilometers across the Serengeti Mara ecosystem. Every movement of the herds is guided by nature's pulse. Brief rains that awaken fresh grasslands, streams revived by waters flowing down from the Ngorongoro highlands. And so, the migration follows that rhythm, a rhythm with no beginning and no end. And if the Great Migration is a grand symphony of African nature, then the Serengeti is the orchestra itself, the stage where every rhythm of life begins and revives in its endless cycle. Across more than 14,700 square kilometers of sweeping northern Tanzania, life does not merely exist, but erupts in abundance like nowhere else on Earth. The name Serengeti in the Maasai language means endless plains, a vision that captures not only the vastness of space, but also the ceaseless movement and renewal of life. When the rains fade and clouds lift from the southern highlands, The Ndutu region near the Ngorongoro Conservation Area becomes the starting point. Here, soils built from layers of ancient volcanic ash accumulated over thousands of years nourish grasslands rich in minerals, with high concentrations of potassium, calcium, and silica, the perfect foundation for grazing animals to replenish their bodies after long journeys. The vegetation in this region grows rapidly and carries nutrient levels more than 25% higher than the neutral soils farther north. That is why, from around January to March, vast herds of blue wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles converge here. The herds of Grant's zebra lead the flow of the Great Migration, as if an ancient memory of the journey were etched into every step they take. Unlike wildebeest, they do not follow the scent of rain, nor do they wait for the pressure of vast numbers to push them onward. They move by memory, a kind of biological map imprinted across generations. Their ability to recall routes, water sources, and places of past peril makes Grant's zebra an irreplaceable guide in the cross-border migration. Within the Serengeti Mara ecosystem, around 200,000 Grant's zebras join the annual journey. Different from the lean build of the wildebeest, Grant's zebra carries a strong and sturdy frame, weighing on average between 220 and 300 kilograms, with a body length of 2.5 meters and shoulder height of about 1.2 meters. It is the smallest subspecies of zebra, yet it possesses extraordinary endurance, enough to lead the Great Migration across the Serengeti. Its black and white stripes are more than natural camouflage. They also help regulate body temperature, allowing the zebra to adapt to the dry heat of the tropical plains. Their small group structure, led by a dominant male with several females, creates stable social bonds that both protect the young and optimize collective movement when danger strikes. As pioneers on the long march, Grant's zebras graze first on tall, coarse and dry grasses at the surface, food that many herbivores avoid. Their digestive system is well adapted to break down cellulose from this rough forage, even when nutritional value is low. By consuming the tougher top layer, they expose the tender, nutrient-rich shoots beneath, the very grass that wildebeest favor most. This forms one of the largest informal symbiotic relationships of the Great Migration. While Grant's zebras set the pace, the blue wildebeest carry out one of the greatest birthing events on Earth. Each year, about 500,000 calves are born within just a few short weeks in February and March, an average of nearly 8,000 new lives every day. This synchronized birthing is a refined strategy to overwhelm predators such as lions, hyenas, and cheetahs, which can only target a fraction of the vast surge of life. After the birthing season, when the fresh grasses have been grazed down and the soil begins to crack beneath the first summer sun, the true march of the wildebeest begins. The wildebeest outnumber every other mammal in the cycle of migration. Each year, about 1.5 to 1.7 million of them move together. Medium in build, wildebeest weigh around 180 to 250 kilograms and stand less than 1.5 meters tall. Their simple digestive system is perfectly designed to quickly absorb energy from fresh grasses. And because of this dependence, they are known as the followers of rain. A wildebeest can sense rainfall up to 50 kilometers away, enough to guide entire herds toward the very grasslands reborn by the first seasonal showers. What sets them apart is the absence of a clear leader. There is no command, no call. The herd flows forward like a single body through swarm intelligence, a collective decision-making process shaped by instinct, inherited memory, and body language. When one small group starts to move, others follow like falling dominoes. Though it appears chaotic, in truth, the herd moves with a fluid order so effective, it has been called an unspoken, unified mind. Wildebeest are silent engineers of the ecosystem. By grazing short, tender grasses, they trigger new growth. Their dung, rich in nutrients, replenishes the soil with nitrogen. Their constant movement creates a cycle of graze, rest, regrow across the plains, feeding life from microbes all the way up to the largest predators. By mid-year, the real trials begin. Rivers become nature's greatest barriers. At the Boteti River, when the newborn calves are weary from the long trek, pools of water prove irresistible. They do not linger or hesitate for long. When a few plunge in, the rest surge after them. Beneath the surface, hundreds of Nile crocodiles lie in wait. Some wildebeest are dragged under by the crocodiles. Others freeze as they witness companions seized by the hidden giants. In this moment, survival becomes a matter of chance. By July, the journey presses northward, where the Serengeti slopes higher. The air grows. Let us travel back about 2.5 million years ago. A colossal volcano, believed to have risen even higher than today's Mount Kilimanjaro, erupted and then collapsed into itself. The remnants of that eruption created an almost perfectly round caldera, spanning 19 kilometers across with a floor covering 260 square kilometers, the Ngorongoro crater. Encircling the crater are towering cliffs, rising more than 600 meters high, like massive fortress walls carved by fire and time. A natural stronghold, isolated yet teeming with life. That isolation did not diminish, but instead gave rise to a unique and enduring ecosystem. The fertile basalt soil, born from ancient lava, became the foundation for endless stretches of lush green grasslands. Here, grass is the first spark of life in a complete food chain that sustains the entire web of creatures inside the crater. About 25,000 large mammals live permanently within Ngorongoro crater. It is also one of the very few places in Africa where people can still witness the complete Big Five. In 30 to 60 kilograms, it is still strong enough to haul a young wildebeest weighing over 100 kilograms into the treetops. A sturdy neck structure and powerful forelimb muscles make it ideally equipped to keep its prey elevated and out of reach from scavengers. Unlike predators that rely on the migration season for an abundance of food, leopards maintain a highly varied diet. From rodents, ground birds, and fish to gazelles, young zebras, and impalas, anything can become a meal when timing is right. This adaptability allows them to survive lean times without depending on the Great Migration to sustain their population. Although active year-round, leopards are rarely seen. They are present, yet invisible, leaving behind only faint paw prints in the damp earth or a smear of blood on a tree trunk. The total number of individuals in the reserve is estimated at around 52, with higher concentrations in less disturbed areas like Olare Motorogi Conservancy, Mara North, and riverine forests. Unlike many of their feline relatives, which are often limited by specific habitat needs, leopards are the definition of flexibility. They don't require wide-open grasslands or dense jungles. All they need is a place to hide and the right moment to strike. In the Masai Mara, they play a unique role in the ecosystem. When the Great Migration brings millions of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles into the reserve, leopards do not dive into the chaos. They move along the edges of the migrating mass, keeping an eye on the young, the stragglers, or the weak. Their ability to wait and judge precisely allows them to hunt efficiently without expending unnecessary energy. A female leopard has chosen her target. Her body hugs the ground, every muscle tightening like a coiled spring. She steps forward with quiet patience. Her keen eyesight locks onto every twitch and movement of her prey. She creeps forward, nearly silent thanks to thick, padded paws. Closer and closer, until the tall grass merges completely with her dappled coat. When less than 5 meters remain, the explosive pounce is unleashed. Lightning speed, a precise bite to the throat, right at the pulsing artery. The gazelle struggles, but the leopard's powerful jaws bring the moment to an end in under a minute. Once the prey lies still, she drags it to a safer place, away from hyena clans that might try to take it. Yet, to fully grasp the drama of this hunt, we must turn to the victim, Thomson's gazelle. Though it takes part in the Great Migration, this species follows a slightly different route. Favoring tender grass, ultra-short regrowths, rich in nutrients that sprout after the wildebeest have grazed through, Thomson's gazelles typically trail behind in the migration, acting as the final filter of the grasslands. Their numbers are smaller, around 500,000 individuals, and their journey is shorter. Many groups stop in the Serengeti rather than completing the full loop to the Masai Mara. Due to their petite size, some groups avoid dramatic Mara River crossings, instead choosing safer paths that steer clear of fast-moving water. Though not large in stature, they possess one of the most powerful survival tools in the wild: speed. An adult can reach speeds of 80 to 94 kilometers per hour, outpacing nearly all other similarly sized herbivores. More than that, they can maintain high speeds over longer distances, sometimes even outlasting the short-distance sprint of the cheetah, the fastest land predator. The difference lies not in the burst, but in endurance. That stamina often means the chase ends with nothing more than a blur of dust trailing across the African plains. Every stride they take isn't just instinctive. Their stotting behavior, bounding high into the air with all 4 legs straight, is a visual signal with a clear purpose. It also serves as a warning to other herd members of approaching threats. Living in the open means there's no place to hide. Instead, Thomson's gazelles have evolved extraordinarily sharp senses. Exceptional eyesight helps them spot movement from far away, while acute hearing and smell provide awareness from multiple directions. Their ability to navigate as a group, amplified by alarm calls and visual cues, creates an efficient web of vigilance. Within the food chain of the Masai Mara, they serve as a key middle link, both as grazers that help manage plant growth and as a steady source of sustenance for major predators. Especially for the cheetah, a hunting cat whose reproductive success heavily depends on the availability of small antelopes like the tommy. With a body built on extraordinary proportions. Its long legs, especially the hind limbs, give it remarkable shoulder height of about 60 centimeters, while its weight remains light, ranging only from 9 to 18 kilograms. Its oversized ears, upright like twin satellite dishes, are finely tuned to catch the faintest rustle in thick grass or the slightest movement beneath damp soil. These physical traits make the serval one of the most efficient hunters in the entire cat family. In the ever-whispering grasslands of Ngorongoro, the serval has refined its hunting skills to extraordinary precision. It moves silently through tall grasses. When it pinpoints prey, often rodents, ground birds, or small snakes, the serval freezes, its body rhythm attuned to even the tiniest scratching sounds beneath the earth. Then, as the prey emerges, its spring-like legs launch in a sudden burst, often cutting off the escape of an unsuspecting rodent. With the longest legs in proportion to body size among cats, a serval can leap up to 2 meters high to snatch birds from the ground, or thrash down upon any small snake within striking distance. Their hunting success rate reaches around 50%, far higher than larger cats such as lions or leopards. An adult serval can consume on average 4,000 rodents, 260 snakes, and 130 birds per year, becoming a natural regulator that helps keep populations of small animals in check. Servals are most active at dawn and dusk, when rodents and small birds emerge to forage, but when larger predators are easing into rest. Females raising young adjust their feeding times more toward daylight, reducing the chance of crossing paths with dominant hunters such as lions. Not confined to a fixed territory, the Kilimanjaro elephants continue to live a nomadic life, an ancient rhythm that ties them closely to both Kenya's Amboseli National Park and the forested slopes of Kilimanjaro National Park on the Tanzanian side. Their migratory journeys form an invisible thread connecting two seemingly separate ecosystems, creating a rare biological corridor that links the two countries in a shared ecological bond. From the floodplains of Amboseli during the rainy season, African elephants move along ancient ecological corridors toward the northern slopes of Kilimanjaro when the dry season sets in. This is a strategic form of migration, not fixed in a strict annual cycle, but deeply influenced by rainfall, moisture levels, and changes in vegetation. The montane forests of Kilimanjaro, rich in clay minerals and layered plant diversity, provide a valuable alternative food source when the plains grow barren. During this journey, certain individuals stand out for their remarkable tusks, nearly touching the ground, known as the Great Tuskers, living relics of a genetic lineage that has nearly vanished across most of Africa. Scientists have analyzed the genomes of several male elephants in this region and discovered rare genetic variations linked to rapid tusk development, enhanced immunity, and exceptional longevity. The presence of legendary individuals like Big Tim offers compelling evidence of an ancient genetic line still quietly preserved within the Kilimanjaro Amboseli ecosystem. Beyond their iconic status, elephants are true ecosystem engineers. As they move through the landscape, they break shrubs, carve paths through dense forest, and create natural corridors that benefit species like duiker, bushbuck, warthog, and even predators such as leopards. While feeding on fruit and foliage, they unintentionally collect seeds and later disperse them through their dung, an incredibly effective method of forest regeneration. Studies show that in the montane forests at the base of Kilimanjaro, up to 30% of tree species depend on elephants for seed dispersal, especially those with large fruits that smaller animals cannot handle. Adding to their ecological role is a unique behavior observed in the Kilimanjaro elephants, climbing steep slopes to mine minerals from the earth. These elephants use their tusks and trunks to dig several meters into clay-rich soil in search of sodium and other trace elements, creating natural mineral mines that attract many other species in need of micronutrients. This behavior highlights a spatial nutritional connection between habitats that might otherwise seem isolated, and it demonstrates a remarkable capacity for dietary self-regulation that few large animals can match. For the Chaga people, Kilimanjaro is not merely part of the landscape, it is part of the soul. They believe the clouds that always veil the summit of Kibo are home to ancestral spirits, and that the water flowing down from the mountain is a sacred gift from God. The image of Kilimanjaro rising from the savannah, defying weather, gravity, and time, echoes the biblical Mount Sinai, a place where humanity meets the divine. Now head south, past the broad canopied forests, beyond the sun-scorched savannas of Tanzania and Zambia, to a place where the land no longer rises toward the sky, but instead sinks into the earth. We arrive in a different world, the Okavango Delta, the largest inland wetland in Africa. Unlike most major river systems around the world that end their journey at the sea, the Okavango River comes to a halt in the heart of the Kalahari Desert. In 2014, UNESCO recognized this place as the 1000th World Natural Heritage Site, not only for its geographic uniqueness, but for its global ecological value as one of the last untouched inland ecosystems on Earth. Here, the river flows into a vast, landlocked basin with no outlet to the ocean. Each year, it releases about 11 billion cubic meters of water, creating one of the most extraordinary natural spectacles on the planet. This water spreads across an area ranging from 6,000 to over 15,000 square kilometers, and at peak flood, the delta can expand to as much as 22,000 square kilometers, roughly the size of the US state of New Jersey. Every drop of water here carries a mission: to bring the land back to life. The unique timing of the flood cycle creates a rare paradox. Water rises during the dry season, and life blooms when the rest of the region is parched. In that moment, Okavango becomes a grand gathering ground for one of the most diverse and powerful wildlife populations on Earth. It is one of the very few places left on the planet where large predator populations still exist entirely under natural conditions. Overhead, more than 480 bird species have been recorded, making this one of the world's most vital hotspots for avian diversity. Predators, though the average lion hunting success across Africa is only about 18 to 30%, prides in Ngorongoro can reach 35 to 40%, thanks to plentiful prey and cooperative skills sharpened across generations. In the fading light, where the tall grasses still hold the heat of day, a fierce standoff unfolds. A pride has just brought down a zebra, but before they can feast, silent figures appear at the edges, spotted hyenas. Not one, but many. Quick steps make no sound, eyes glow in the dusk, and shrill laughter rises like a challenge. The confrontation between these two apex predators of Ngorongoro Crater is nothing unusual. It is an age-old rivalry carried through countless generations, and within this closed arena, where every encounter becomes face-to-face, the conflict burns fiercer than ever. With numbers ranging from 380 to over 470 individuals, the spotted hyena stands as the most abundant carnivore in Ngorongoro. Recent surveys confirm the presence of at least 8 clans, each with as many as 80 members, thriving within territories no larger than 40 square kilometers. Their rivalry with lions goes far beyond battles over carcasses. At such high densities, clashes can occur almost daily, though lions surpass them in raw strength. Under the harsh sun of the Masai Mara, the ground pulses in waves, as herds of wildebeest flood across the savanna like a living tide. But within that chaos, another chase begins, quieter, yet infinitely more intense. The cheetah doesn't hide in the shadows. It stands in full daylight, body taut like a drawn bowstring, eyes locked onto a distracted target on the herd's fringe. A Thompson's gazelle. A burst like lightning tears through the air. In under 20 seconds, the cheetah reaches 120 kilometers per hour, the fastest speed ever recorded on land. Each stride stretches 7 to 8 meters, its spine whipping like a coiled lash, and the long, twisting tail acts like a rudder, keeping the body steady through razor-sharp turns. But the gazelle doesn't fall easily. It reacts in an instant, veering back and forth in instinctive zigzags. Those slender legs weren't just made for running, they were made to fight for life, second by second. The two animals blaze across the open grassland, no obstacles, no cover. Only speed, stamina, and pure survival instinct. A final lunge from the cheetah. In a moment of flying dust, fate is sealed. In a place where life can shift in the blink of an eye, the survivor isn't always the stronger one, but the more precise. With its lean build and poor defense, the cheetah avoids hunting at night, when larger predators like lions and hyenas dominate. Instead, it hunts in the early morning or late afternoon, times when the light is gentle, the temperature bearable, and competitors are either not yet active or already tired. The social structure of cheetahs in the Masai Mara also reflects the species' high adaptability. While females live alone, raise their cubs solo, and often move to protect them from predators, males tend to form tight-knit groups called coalitions, typically composed of brothers. These groups cooperate in hunting and hold territories far larger than any lone individual. One world-famous coalition, known as Tano Bora, stunned researchers by successfully taking down fully grown wildebeest, an unusual feat for this species. Still, the cheetah lives on the edge of the food chain. Though it's a master of speed, it often loses its hard-earned prey to lions, hyenas, and even leopards. After each high-energy chase, a cheetah must rest to recover, and that's when stronger competitors often show up. Prey loss rates for cheetahs in the Masai Mara are as high as 50%, forcing them to hunt nearly every day just to sustain themselves and their young. The sheer intensity of the Great Migration means life and loss are constant companions. Every year, over 250,000 wildebeest do not return. But it is this unending cycle that shapes a vibrant and resilient ecosystem. The constant movement helps renew the grasslands. Herds leave behind nutrient-rich droppings that stimulate fresh growth. The savanna gets cleared periodically, maintaining the open landscapes crucial for both predators and grazers. When the wildebeest arrive, insect-eating birds like oxpeckers and cattle egrets follow. When they move on, dung beetles, microorganisms, and scattered seeds continue the work of decomposing and rejuvenating the soil. The entire food web is activated by this seemingly simple act of migration. In all this movement, there is no script. Nature runs on its own logic, where every creature plays a vital part. And the Great Migration becomes a living symphony, at times chaotic, at times grand and somber, but always profoundly meaningful. If the Great Migration captivates with the sheer number of antelope moving in an endless loop, then Kilimanjaro, the final Tanzanian site on the list, makes its mark through height and solitude. Towering over vast open plains, Mount Kilimanjaro draws the eye not only with its 5,895-meter elevation, but also because it is a stratovolcano that belongs to no mountain range. According to research, Kilimanjaro was formed by three distinct volcanic cones: Kibo, Mawenzi, and Shira. Kibo is the highest and youngest of the three and is currently considered a dormant volcano, with the potential to erupt again, though the likelihood is very low. Mawenzi, rising to 5,149 meters, is an extinct volcano with a jagged, dramatic landscape. Meanwhile, Shira has been heavily eroded over time, leaving behind a broad plateau at 3,962 meters, a tranquil stage where sky and earth seem to stretch endlessly across the wild expanse. Kilimanjaro is not only geologically unique, but ecologically diverse across its vertical expanse. The rapid shift in climate zones, from the cultivated lowlands at its base to the icy summit, makes it one of the most distinct altitudinal ecosystems on Earth. Scientists often refer to it as a journey from the equator to the Arctic, where every upward step brings you into an entirely new world. Above 5,000 meters, the summit of Kibo reveals a realm seemingly reserved for polar regions. Snow and ice cover the landscape year-round, with slow-moving glaciers stretched across a quiet, frozen world. It's almost hard to believe this icy scene lies so close to the equator. Between 4,000 and 5,000 meters, the scenery changes dramatically. The air is thin, with pressure dropping to just 60% of sea level. Cold winds blow fiercely, and the barren, ashen rocks resemble the surface of an alien planet. Hardly any plants survive here. Only a few lichens and mosses cling tightly to the stone. Descending to the 2,800 to 4,000 meter range, life begins to reappear, strange and brilliantly adapted. Alpine meadows and shrublands unfold like a scene from prehistory. Giant groundsels, standing over 6 meters tall, stack their leafy rosettes like natural machines, perfectly engineered to withstand the bitter cold of the night. From 1,800 meters upward, lush tropical rainforests begin to take over. This green canopy is home to over 1,200 plant species and hundreds of endemic birds. Crowned eagle reigns over this kingdom. The existence of the crowned eagle is deeply entwined with the ancient evolutionary history of African raptors. According to data from ancient DNA analysis, the genetic line of the crowned eagle diverged from primitive Accipitridae groups at least 3 million years ago. Throughout that lineage, the species retained several distinct morphological traits: an oversized skull, unusually developed talons, and exceptional leg muscle grip strength. These features are not only remnants of paleobiological history, but also refined hunting tools, shaping a silent predator that rules the forest depths. The crowned eagle's hunting strategy blends ambush with speed. In the dense forest canopies that cloak the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro, where mist weaves between trees towering dozens of meters high, it waits, still and silent, hidden among thick branches, its amber eyes glowing like twin flames. Far below the canopy, a troop of colobus monkeys moves from limb to limb, their contrasting black and white fur fluttering like silk in the dappled sunlight. They move slowly, confident in the height and agility that have long served as their greatest defenses. With a wingspan of nearly 2 meters, the eagle's broad yet remarkably agile wings allow it to glide through the treetops without making a sound, a rare skill among large birds of prey. Its powerful legs can exert a gripping force of up to 30.9 kilograms per square centimeter, roughly 30 times the pressure inside a car tire. It is this weapon that allows the eagle to bring down even fully grown monkeys weighing nearly 10 kilograms in an instant. Suddenly, a sharp, piercing screech rips through the forest. Like a bolt of living lightning in broad daylight, the eagle dives at over 160 kilometers per hour, weaving through the branches with deadly precision. A young monkey looks up just in time to see steel talons clamp around its body, lifting it skyward. A single terrified cry echoes, and then silence. The colobus troop scatters in a panic, leaping to distant branches, beyond the reach of the shadow above. The colobus monkeys living on this mountain are classified as Kilimanjaro guereza, also known as mantled guereza, a species whose striking fur has become almost symbolic of the mist-shrouded forests of the highlands. Unlike omnivorous monkeys, the Kilimanjaro guereza is a folivore, a specialist in leaf consumption. Its diet consists primarily of leaves, including older varieties with high cellulose content or mild toxins that most other primates cannot digest. This remarkable ability comes from a specialized digestive system with a multi-chambered stomach. Functioning much like that of ruminant animals, it houses symbiotic microbes that efficiently break down cellulose. While this diet offers a major ecological advantage, it provides relatively low energy. As a result, the Kilimanjaro guereza tends to be sedentary, spending much of its day quietly digesting among the treetops. Their stillness has led many researchers to describe them as the meditative element of the forest, blending seamlessly into their surroundings while playing a quiet yet vital ecological role. Though they live at a slow pace, the mantled guereza displays remarkable agility when needed, a crucial survival skill in the multi-layered rainforests of Kilimanjaro. Their unique hand structure, almost completely lacking thumbs, is a distinctive evolutionary trait. From Greek origins, colobus means mutilated or shortened, referencing their hook-like hands that allow for an exceptionally strong grip on branches during movement. These hands act like natural climbing hooks, highly effective in the thick, tangled forests they call home. With lightweight bodies, strong leg power, and long tails that serve as stabilizing rudders, Kilimanjaro guerezas can leap up to 15 meters from tree to tree. In those moments, their long, flowing white tails trail behind like silk ribbons dancing through the air, a breathtaking image shaped by evolution itself. And finally, as one descends to altitudes between 800 and 1,800 meters, Kilimanjaro reveals a tranquil scene where humans and nature coexist in harmony. At the base of the mountain, where low clouds drift along the slopes, and the border between Kenya and Tanzania becomes just a faint concept, the quiet, steady footsteps of African elephants leave their mark on the red earth. Unafraid of boundaries or fences, they are cross-border nomads. Drier, and the skies open wide. Northern Serengeti reveals a different beauty. Scattered kopjes, granite outcrops rising like fins from a golden sea of grass. Perfect lookouts for lion prides watching the herds from afar. Here the grass grows thinner but tougher, rich in cellulose, just right for sustaining strength through the long marches ahead. But by August, the Mara River changes everything. This river divides the land in two, marking one of the most dramatic crossings in the wild world. Unlike the Grumeti, the Mara runs deeper, swifter, and with far more crocodiles. Its steep, rocky banks narrow into choke points, where thousands are pressed into tight, frantic crossings. Here unfolds one of the rawest spectacles of life. Thousands of wildebeest crying out, shoving forward, leaping into the churning waters, fighting to cross against a tide of predators. Adult Nile crocodiles in this region range from 3.5 to 5 meters, with dominant individuals reaching up to 6 meters and weighing over 700 kilograms. Their bodies are solid, muscular structures wrapped in a rugged layer of keratinized skin that can withstand powerful impacts. That skin is reinforced by tiny bone plates beneath the surface, known as osteoderms, turning them into true biological tanks in the water. Their coloration, from grayish-brown to olive-green, combined with a pale belly and dark spots along their backs and tails, allows them to blend seamlessly into muddy waters and the dappled light of the tropical river surface. Out of the river, Nile crocodiles move slowly and appear almost lazy, but underwater, every movement is deliberate. Their tails, which make up nearly half their body length, act like giant paddles, letting them surge forward in a split second, then stop abruptly to balance and observe. With eyes, nostrils, and ears all positioned on top of their heads, they can stay almost fully submerged while remaining aware of everything happening above the water. A wildebeest approaching the river's edge for a drink may never realize it's stepped into the strike zone of a nearly invisible predator. Every anatomical feature is built for the art of ambush. Their long, cone-shaped snouts hold about 64 to 68 peg-like teeth, razor-sharp and constantly regenerating. Their bite force is among the strongest in the animal kingdom, easily crushing the bones of large herbivores like wildebeest or zebra. But instead of chewing, they clamp down with those teeth, drag their prey underwater, and perform a spinning maneuver with devastating results. At river crossing points like the Mara, the arrival of migrating herds marks the peak season for Nile crocodiles. When tens of thousands of animals plunge into the river in a single day, crocodiles don't need to chase. They just pick the right spot and wait for the perfect moment to strike. A small number of individuals carry out the majority of these strikes, and they tend to remember the most successful crossing points from previous years. But the more animals cross at once, the higher the survival rate for each individual. Wildebeest instinctively understand this. Even though thousands of lives are lost each year at these crossings, the strategy of overwhelming by numbers remains the most effective way to maximize survival for the group. If they make it past the Mara River, they reach the Masai Mara, the promised land of endless green grass. Thrive, compete, and share space in harmony with grazers. Beneath the surface, a rich aquatic ecosystem supports dozens of native fish species, providing essential sustenance for the Nile crocodile and the hippopotamus, two iconic symbols of the delta's raw, untamed power. Hippopotamuses don't float along with the current like crocodiles, nor do they slink through mud like otters. They walk, step by solid step, each night, from deep water refuges to forage on land. And it is this unwavering routine, repeated over many years, that has carved out what are now known as hippo highways, underwater trails compressed and eroded by thousands of heavy footfalls, turning soft mud into firm pathways, gradually altering the flow of water. What began simply as routes of movement have, over time, evolved into a complex network of water channels, connecting shallow pools and remote marshes to the central flow of the delta. They function like capillaries in a living body, allowing water to circulate even in the dry season, retaining soil moisture and sustaining habitats for countless species. According to satellite data and on-the-ground surveys published in 2024, many tributary zones in the Okavango still hold water well into October, the height of the dry season, thanks to these hippo trails channeling water from the main river into outer wetlands. But the hippo's role doesn't end with water movement. Each night, a single hippo can consume between 30 and 40 kilograms of grass, mostly soft grasses growing along the floodplains. Once full, it returns to the water to cool its body and escape the harsh sunlight. And then, within those waters, it releases massive amounts of waste, a natural fertilizer rich in nitrogen and phosphorus, fueling the growth of algae and plankton. As the dry season sweeps across the Okavango Delta, the once vast wetlands shrink to a few shallow waterholes, now cracked at the edges and fading fast. Wherever water remains, it becomes a battleground. From a distance, a group of lions approaches. The heat is brutal, their throats dry with thirst. But to take a sip, they must face the true ruler of these waters. The hippo opens its enormous mouth like a stone gate, revealing tusks sharp as blades. It is not an invitation, it is a challenge. Without water, the hippo cannot survive. Its massive body relies on submersion to maintain a stable temperature, as its skin is highly sensitive to sun exposure. When left too long under the sun, the skin cracks, bleeds, and becomes prone to infection. They need hours of cooling in water or mud. Without it, they rapidly dehydrate and weaken. Even their respiratory and circulatory systems are affected. Heart rate and body temperature rise to dangerous levels. That's why, when the pools dry up, hippos are forced to wander across land in search of new waterholes and become more aggressive than ever. The lions tense up, manes bristling, forming a line at the edge of the pool. But the hippo swings open its gaping jaws, revealing tusks nearly half a meter long. A single bite could crush a buffalo's bones, let alone serve as a warning to anything daring to keep it from the water. With a powerful jerk of its head, dust explodes into the air, forcing the pride to retreat. In the end, the lions yield the path. Spotted hyenas dominate through numbers and strategy. Confrontations often begin with distant watchfulness, escalating into encirclements, isolations, and even raids on lionesses when no males are present. In turn, lions readily kill hyena pups or lone wanderers when the opportunity arises. This cycle of confrontation has shaped a key ecological dynamic within the crater, where nothing is certain and the strongest is not always the one that prevails. Not only do they outnumber other predators, but the spotted hyena also stands out for its survival strategy and intricate social structure. They are not solitary wanderers. Each clan functions as... From August to October, the herds rest here, grazing, building up their energy reserves, and preparing for the next phase of their journey. This is also when wildebeest enter their breeding season. The process unfolds in relative calm and plays a vital role in ensuring the next generation will be born early the following year, when the herd returns to its calving grounds in Ndutu. Remarkably, their resilience stems directly from the richness of the ecosystem here. The Masai Mara sits at an average elevation of 1,500 meters above sea level, with a milder climate and more evenly distributed rainfall compared to the southern Serengeti. Average temperatures range between 22 and 26 degrees Celsius throughout the year. Annual rainfall reaches approximately 1,200 millimeters, with peak periods occurring from March to May and from October to November. The Masai Mara is known for its expansive landscape. Hundreds of square kilometers of open grasslands interspersed with patches of shrubland, low rocky hills known as koppies, and a network of streams and scattered wetlands. This diversity creates distinct microclimates across the region, allowing the ecosystem to maintain a steady balance. The grasses of the Masai Mara are especially nutrient-rich, particularly after the rainy season. The density of wildlife here can, at times, seem almost unbelievable. At the peak of the dry season, the biomass of herbivores in the Masai Mara has been recorded at nearly 30 metric tons per square kilometer. In a recent UNESCO survey, the density of wildebeest alone reached up to 240 individuals per square kilometer. But it's 800 spotted hyenas across 9 generations over 3 decades. The project has yielded invaluable insights into their behavior, genetics, family structure, mating, and reproductive strategies. One of the most significant discoveries is the role of social choice in dispersal behavior. Males leaving their clans rarely disperse at random. They tend to seek out clans where a twin or peer has previously migrated, increasing their chances of being accepted and reproducing successfully. This demonstrates a sophisticated level of social awareness and shared learning within a society that is flexible yet far from loose. In addition, they rely on a complex communication system, ranging from giggles, hisses, and whoops to resonant growls, to locate clan members and coordinate us. A ghost slipping between low thickets along the banks of the Mara River and Talek River. The biology of the leopard is a vivid reflection of evolutionary finesse, weighing anywhere from the disciplined food sharing and cooperative teamwork in both hunting and territorial defense make them a formidable power, never to be underestimated. The Ngorongoro Hyena Project, one of the longest-running wildlife studies in the world, has tracked more than 2,000 collective actions. Far more than cunning predators, spotted hyenas are ecological architects, maintaining balance through competition, hunting, and scavenging. In a closed system like Ngorongoro, their laughter echoes as the voice of an ecosystem both resilient and profound. If you had to live within such a closed wilderness as Ngorongoro, would you choose to belong to a hyena clan, bound by matriarchal stability, or to a lion pride, driven by alliances and the power of might? A tightly organized matriarchal society where the highest rank belongs to the alpha female and status is passed down from mother to daughter. Males, once they reach maturity, are not allowed to remain in their birth clan, but must leave, seeking to join another in order to reproduce. This mechanism prevents inbreeding within the geographically confined environment of the crater. Such organization allows spotted hyenas to maintain social stability across generations. Their rigid hierarchy. Let's now turn to another pack-based predator. They hunt with more precision than lions, and they may be the most efficient hunters in Africa's wild, the African wild dog. In the heart of the Okavango Delta, where water draws the maps and land is just a brief pause, African wild dogs have carved out a different way of survival. Not powerful like lions, not stealthy like leopards, they win through connection. Each individual in the pack is a link in a hunting machine programmed with intelligence, relentless speed, and flawless teamwork. No one fights for dominance. No one is left behind. The success of the pack is the key to survival for each member, and it's this social model that enables them to achieve a staggering hunt success rate of up to 80%. The biology of African wild dogs reflects their drive for efficiency. They are not large, averaging just 20 to 30 kilograms, but their long legs, deep chests, and proportionally large hearts allow them to run for miles without tiring. Unlike leopards, who rely on short bursts of speed to end a chase within seconds, wild dogs follow a strategy of endurance and pressure, wearing down their prey until it has nowhere left to hide. In the Okavango, life comes with its own unique set of challenges. Unlike lions, who are accustomed to wading through deep waters, wild dogs tend to avoid flooded areas. But the marshlands offer no permanent escape. During the flood season, when much of the delta becomes scattered islands, adaptation becomes necessary. Dry trails turn into hunting paths. Riverbanks become ambush zones. Up ahead, a red lechwe, an antelope species specialized for the wetlands, struggles through the water. Its long hind legs help it move swiftly in swampy terrain. But this time, the water is both friend and foe. The pack of wild dogs splits up, encircling it as if following a pre-drawn strategy. The lechwe sprang out of the water, mud flying in every direction, but just seconds later, a bite to its hind leg brought it to a halt. One wild dog lunged forward, clamping down on its throat, swift, clean, and silent. Everything fell quiet again, except for the soft, wet sounds of a meal unfolding beneath the morning mist. But the wild dog's greatest distinction isn't just how it hunts, it's how it cares. In their social structure, the young are always prioritized. After a successful hunt, the adults feed first to regain strength, but then return to the den and regurgitate food for the pups and for injured or elderly members. There is no clear power struggle like in lion prides, no infighting like in hyena clans. As the remains of the red lechwe dissolve into the watery ground, the wild dogs begin to withdraw. A strange noise rustles behind the reeds. A solitary spotted hyena, a lumbering shadow, creeps forward, drawn by the scent of meat and a trail of blood on the water's surface. A sharp bark cuts through the stillness. Then 2, 3 wild dogs leap up, charging like lightning. The hyena rears back, growling, jaws wide and ready to snap. But it's forced to back into the water to avoid the tightening circle. This is not its turf. Each time it tries to climb the bank, the dogs strike from different angles, nipping at its flanks, its neck, then pulling back before the larger animal can counter. African wild dogs treat their territory not just as a hunting ground, but as the cradle of their young and the glue of their community. A single pack often controls an area of 200 to 1,000 square kilometers, depending on food availability and the presence of rival predators. That territory includes hunting grounds, grasslands, swamps, even small streams, as well as safe havens, burrows, dense thickets, places where pups are born and raised. After each successful hunt, they often drag their kill back toward the heart of that land, a way to feed the family and reinforce the ties that hold the pack together. It's not just herbivores. The Masai Mara is also a predator's paradise. According to a survey, the lion population in the reserve is estimated at around 850 individuals. Leopards have been recorded at a density of 6 to 10 individuals per 100 square kilometers, while spotted hyenas live in clans that can reach up to 60 members. The high concentration of predators makes the Masai Mara a battleground where hunting instincts clash constantly with the will to survive. Hunts take place both day and night, and they happen almost non-stop throughout the migration season. Avoiding the bustling herds and staying out of the chaotic race for survival, the leopard chooses its own rhythm, quiet, precise, and fiercely independent. Amid the turmoil of the Great Migration, it becomes a symbol of perfect stillness where life persists, sustained by fertile silt. This sediment, rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, flows down from the Blue Nile each flood season, nourishing the northern floodplains and transforming them into some of the most fertile agricultural lands on Earth. Thanks to this, ancient Egypt flourished for over 5,000 years. Wheat, barley, and flax grew along the riverbanks, providing a stable food supply, the foundation upon which the pyramids, temples, and timeless legacies were built. Along the Nile, ecological diversity thrives. This region is home to over 129 fish species, 300 species of water birds, and numerous other rare animals. Its biodiversity is not only the result of rich silt and abundant water, but also the microclimate stability the river creates amid Africa's otherwise harsh dryness. And so we begin with the Nile's most iconic reptile, also the largest reptile in Africa, the Nile crocodile. The Nile crocodile appears carved into the ancient temple walls, forever linked to the image of Sobek, the crocodile-headed god, symbolizing power, fertility, and the untamed strength the Nile River brings to the delta plains. In ancient Egyptian belief, crocodiles were not just feared predators of the river. They were sacred creatures. They were raised in temple ponds, adorned with jewelry, and when they died, they were mummified and buried with the same reverence given to pharaohs. Over 4,000 crocodile mummies discovered at Kom Ombo stand as lasting proof of this creature's spiritual status in Egyptian culture. Have you ever wondered why this colossal predator bears the river's name? Over 2 centuries ago, European naturalists first encountered this massive crocodile along the Nile's banks. Awed by its raw power, they named it Crocodilus niloticus, Latin for of the Nile. But the Nile is only the beginning of the story. This predator doesn't just inhabit the legendary river, it dominates waterways across sub-Saharan Africa, from Ethiopia, Uganda, and Tanzania, all the way to South Africa and even Madagascar. The Nile crocodile is renowned for its massive size. Mature males can grow up to 6 meters long and weigh over 750 kilograms. Its thick, dark skin allows for perfect camouflage in swamps, muddy banks, and murky waters. With eyes and nostrils perched atop the head, a crocodile can remain almost entirely submerged, exposing only the smallest parts of its body to survey its surroundings. Its powerful digestive system can break down bones and fur, minimizing waste and maximizing nutrition from every meal. The Nile crocodile's survival hinges on stealth and ambush precision. Along the Nile's banks, they choose quiet spots and lie motionless for hours, waiting for herds of antelope, zebras, or buffalo to approach for a drink. Their patience, combined with near-perfect concealment, gives them the upper hand. When the moment is right, they explode from the water with lightning speed, clamping down on prey with a bite force of up to 16,000 newtons. That's the crushing power of a steel press in motion. Their signature hunting technique is the death roll. Once the prey is secured, the crocodile spins its body violently underwater, disorienting the victim, shattering bones, and tearing it into manageable pieces for swallowing. During the dry season, Nile crocodiles move toward deeper waters as river levels drop. Hundreds may gather around the remaining pools, forming dense communities of predators. When the floods return, they disperse into wetlands and river channels to feed and breed. Females dig nests along sandy riverbanks, lay eggs, and later use their powerful jaws with astonishing gentleness to carry their young to the water once they hatch. This contrast between their fearsome appearance and their protective care is one of the most fascinating traits of the species. Nile crocodiles play a crucial role in freshwater ecosystems. They regulate herbivore populations, remove carcasses and sick animals, reducing the spread of disease and helping to maintain ecological balance in rivers and wetlands. It's not only the Nile crocodile that conjures images of prehistory amid Africa's wetlands. Control over a waterhole isn't a story told by hippos alone. Lions crave dominance just as fiercely. Their prides are a nightmare for antelope and any prey that dares to drink. Unlike lion populations in drier regions like the Serengeti or Etosha, the lions of the Okavango must adapt to a world defined by water. Each flood season transforms the delta into a maze of channels and islands. Small patches of dry land become temporary strongholds, and traveling between hunting grounds requires not just strength, but the ability to swim. Unlike most big cats, which tend to avoid water, the Okavango lions regularly swim across wide, deep channels. Their muscles, especially around the shoulders and chest, are more developed due to constant movement through water and mud, giving them visibly more robust builds than their cousins in drier habitats. On average, males here can weigh between 240 and 250 kilograms, and females between 160 and 170 kilograms, some of the heaviest recorded for African lions. This physical development is accompanied by a shift in survival strategy. In an ecosystem where the boundary between land and water constantly shifts, hunts no longer play out on open plains, but in a challenging environment of tall grass, marshes, and moving water. Their primary prey is the Cape buffalo, hoofed giants weighing over 600 kilograms, known for their aggression and resistance. Each adult buffalo drinks between 30 and 45 liters of water daily, making access to water a matter of survival. When threatened, herds tend to push their calves and weaker members toward deeper water for safety. Buffalo are surprisingly strong swimmers. Despite their size, their powerful legs and shoulders help them balance in deep water, and they use that mass to charge and counter-attack with force. And they're not passive victims. It's not uncommon for a wall of black hide to stop a pride in its tracks. Water, while essential, is far from an ideal hunting environment for lions. To bring down a mature buffalo, Okavango lions must execute highly coordinated attacks, often splitting into groups to distract and ambush. They take advantage of flooded terrain, using the mud to slow their prey before launching a surprise assault from the opposite direction. From the tall reeds, higher than a grown man's head, three shadows creep forward. A powerful lioness, eyes glowing like twin embers, leads two young males stalking close behind. Their target is in sight, a herd of Cape buffalo wading through a shallow marsh, calves tucked among towering adult bodies. Alert, but not alarmed, the lioness halts, crouches low. This isn't an impulsive chase. It's a calculated ambush. In the breathless hush of the grass, all three split apart. The two males charge from behind, scattering the herd and forcing the weaker members into the open, separating a cow and her calf from the protective wall of the group. The trap closes. The mother buffalo realizes it too late. She pivots and charges with everything she has, but one of the young males has already flanked them, leaping onto the calf's shoulders. She tries to gore him with her horns, but the lion dodges, causing the calf to take the full force. From the side, the lion sank its teeth deep into the buffalo's belly, bringing it to its knees. In a splash of flying mud, the calf let out a desperate cry as it was dragged into the thick reeds. The mother buffalo collapsed. The hunt was over. The lioness has led the operation to success. Among lions, females are the core of the hunt. A rare biological phenomenon has been recorded in the Okavango. the appearance of manned lionesses exhibiting male-like dominance behavior. These females don't grow full manes, but they do develop thicker neck fur and display behaviors typically seen in males, roaring, scent marking, and sometimes leading the pride. Scientists believe this may be due to hormonal imbalance, specifically abnormally high levels of testosterone. The root cause could lie in genetic factors within an isolated population, where limited genetic diversity and selective pressure push certain individuals to evolve multifunctional traits for leadership and defense. In the wild stretches along the Nile River, another creature, just as ancient in spirit, quietly endures: the shoebill. This bird's appearance is a vivid, living testament to millions of years of evolution, making it one of the most unique and enigmatic ecological icons of the Nile Basin. The shoebill's most striking feature is its massive bill, up to 25 centimeters long, shaped like a blocky wooden clog, broad and heavy, with razor-sharp edges and a hooked tip. Its unusual structure has led many researchers to compare it to the skulls of theropod dinosaurs, the same distant lineage that includes giants like Tyrannosaurus rex, hinting at deep evolutionary ties between modern birds and their ancient reptilian ancestors. But beyond the bill, its gaze is just as unforgettable. Large, round eyes, yellow or pale grey, are set forward on the head, giving the shoebill excellent binocular vision, a critical advantage for pinpointing prey beneath the surface of the water. The shoebill is a master of the ambush. While many birds are constantly on the move, the shoebill embraces the opposite hunting style: statue-like stillness. When the time is right, it strikes with a lightning-fast lunge, the wide bill snapping shut on large prey in a blink, leaving no chance for escape. It can stand motionless for hours in the swamps, waiting for lungfish, catfish, water snakes, or even young crocodiles to appear. And before the Nile crocodile reaches its formidable adult form, it must survive a perilous youth, one filled with constant threats. Its greatest enemy isn't the shoebill, but another silent hunter of the Nile monitor. An adult Nile monitor boasts a sturdy, muscular build, stretching up to 2.4 meters in length and weighing as much as 20 kilograms. Its thick, scaled skin is patterned in yellow-green spots, offering perfect camouflage among reeds, grasses, and riverbank rocks. With a long, flattened, and powerful tail that works like a paddle, the Nile monitor is an excellent swimmer, capable of diving for up to an hour to hunt or evade predators. On land, it moves with agility thanks to strong limbs and sharp claws. It climbs trees with ease, digs deep burrows for shelter, and raids high nests for bird eggs. Surviving beside one of the world's great rivers, the Nile monitor is opportunistic and omnivorous. It hunts fish, frogs, snakes, rodents, birds, large insects, even scavenges carrion. Notably, the Nile monitor is known as the arch-enemy of the Nile crocodile, often sniffing out and raiding crocodile nests to feast on eggs. Field observations in 2024 from the Sud wetlands in South Sudan recorded instances of cooperative hunting. While one monitor distracts the guarding mother crocodile, another slips in to dig up and devour the eggs. Its forked tongue serves as a biological radar, allowing it to taste the air and detect traces of prey or carrion from afar with remarkable sensitivity. Another standout trait of the Nile monitor is its intelligence, surprisingly advanced for a reptile. It shows signs of coordination, task division, and problem-solving while hunting or avoiding threats. When danger looms, it has an arsenal of defensive tactics, puffing up its body to appear more formidable, producing hissing warnings, lashing its tail like a whip, or delivering sharp bites with its powerful jaws. When escape is the best option, the Nile monitor can sprint short distances at speeds up to 32 kilometers per hour, enough to outrun major predators like African lions or spotted hyenas. The Nile monitor's life follows the rhythm of the river. The Nile monitor's life follows the rhythm of the river. During the rainy season, as channels and wetlands swell, it roams to exploit the abundance of prey. In the dry season, it retreats to deeper water zones, digging burrows underground or climbing trees to avoid the heat. These self-dug shelters also become temporary homes for smaller animals, snakes, rodents, or birds, enriching the riverside ecosystem. Ecologically, the Nile monitor helps regulate populations of small animals, young crocodiles and large insects, maintaining biological balance throughout the Nile basin. By raiding crocodile nests, it serves as a natural control on Nile crocodile populations, preventing the unchecked rise of dominant predators. It also plays the role of a cleanup crew, consuming carrion and dead animals, helping to reduce the risk of disease outbreaks in aquatic environments. Yet the Nile monitor is just one piece in Africa's vast reptilian puzzle. This continent is home to hundreds of lizard species, from the brilliantly colored agamas sunning on rocky walls to tiny geckos hiding in crevices by night. They inhabit nearly every ecosystem: lush swamps, shadowy rainforests, and even bone-dry deserts that seem barren at first glance. This is the Moroccan spiny-tailed lizard, a small reptile equipped with a tail covered in stiff, sharp scales used for defense. It lives in the Sahara Desert, where daytime temperatures can soar above 50 degrees Celsius, while nights plunge into freezing cold, a place where furnace heat and icy chill coexist. Spanning more than 9.2 million square kilometers across 11 countries, the Sahara stretches over most of North Africa, roughly the size of the entire United States. The surface of the Okavango swamp slowly settles after the chaos. The final ripples fade, leaving only the scent of mud and a thin sheen of blood shimmering in the sunlight. A sudden splash breaks the silence. Overhead, a broad pair of wings cuts across the sky. It's the African fish eagle, the undisputed monarch of the wetlands' skies. In the Okavango Delta, the African fish eagle is no rare sight. Along river branches like the Boro and Judum, nesting pairs space themselves just 400 to 500 meters apart, a remarkably high density for a top-tier raptor. Perched atop tall, bare branches in the early morning light, their amber eyes scan the still waters below, tuned to detect even the slightest movement. With vision capable of spotting prey from over 1 kilometer away, the African fish eagle doesn't need to skim low like other hunters. When it spots its target, it dives on a sharp diagonal, wings extended to their full 2.2-meter span, talons ready to strike with perfect timing. Its feet are equipped with tiny barbed ridges called spicules, which help grip slippery fish like barbel, tilapia, and tigerfish. Suddenly, its great wings fold. The eagle plummets like an arrow shot from the sky. Its descent can reach speeds up to 80 kilometers per hour, and in a split second, water erupts like a miniature explosion. Two curved, razor-sharp talons clamp down on a fish nearly 2 kilograms in weight, lifting it from the water before the ripples can even close behind it. When food is scarce, the African fish eagle doesn't hesitate to borrow from others' efforts. It's well known for kleptoparasitism, the act of stealing prey from other birds, such as the Goliath heron or the saddle-billed stork. A swift dive, a sharp scream, talons outstretched, and the fish held in another bird's beak quickly changes ownership without a fight. Though ungraceful by human standards, this behavior is remarkably efficient in conserving energy. The African fish eagle isn't bound only to the quiet waters of the Okavango. Its broad wings carry it farther, soaring over glittering lakes, along rivers that wind like lifelines across the continent. And as that journey stretches northward, it reaches a river that has nurtured ancient civilizations, where this bird became a timeless symbol: the Nile. This river flows like a ribbon of jade, carving a lifeline through the heart of the parched Sahara Desert. The flow of life does not always begin from a single source. The Nile River stretches roughly 6,650 kilometers, and rather than starting from one origin, it's formed by two opposing headwaters, the White Nile and the Blue Nile. The White Nile originates in the Great Lakes region, with its most distant source being the Kagera River, which flows into Lake Victoria, the world's second largest freshwater lake, spanning 68,800 square kilometers. On the other side, the Blue Nile surges forth from Lake Tana on the Ethiopian highlands. Though it runs only about 1,450 kilometers, it contributes up to 80% of the Nile's water and nutrient-rich silt during the rainy season. The two great rivers meet in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, merging into one mighty river. The Nile then slices through the desert, creating a vast ribbon of green through a land where annual rainfall ranges from only 20 to 100 millimeters. It's a striking contrast. Endless stretches of arid sand surround the river, yet along its banks lie lush oases perfectly adapted to the harshness of the Sahara. Smaller creatures also display equally remarkable survival skills. One of them is the fennec fox, the smallest fox in the world, yet equipped with a range of specialized evolutionary traits that allow it to endure the heat, the cold, and the scarcity of resources across the North African desert. The fennec fox is nocturnal. It avoids the sun by resting inside deep burrows dug into the sand. These burrows can reach depths of up to 120 centimeters and span more than 10 square meters, maintaining a stable temperature and higher humidity than the outside environment. Each individual typically lives with a small family group, consisting of parents and young pups, within an interconnected burrow system that serves as shelter, a place for raising offspring, and food storage. Despite being highly social, the fennec hunts alone. Its diet mainly includes insects, small reptiles, rodents, bird eggs, fruits, and plant roots. Thanks to its keen sense of hearing, it can detect prey by picking up sounds from beneath the sand. When located, the fennec swiftly digs with its paws to capture the prey, an energy-efficient yet highly effective hunting strategy. This is a characteristic hunting method of species that thrive in energy-scarce environments. In the heart of the Sahara, where shifting sands and winds constantly reshape the landscape, Vulpes zerda stands as living proof of precise adaptation to its environment. Its presence shows that even the smallest creatures can become true survival experts in the most challenging conditions on Earth. This is not merely a desert in the traditional sense. It is a complex mosaic of landforms, from vast seas of shifting sand dunes to barren gravel plains known as regs, dry and hard as the lunar surface, and wind-eroded rocky plateaus called hamadas. Scattered among these harsh landscapes are oases, rare green dots where plants push their roots deep in search of underground water, bringing life to both human communities and desert wildlife. The Sahara's extreme temperature contrasts cause constant turbulence in the air just above the ground. This creates a kind of hot breath effect, distorting vision much like looking through boiling water. In the Tenere region of Niger, a record high of 55.1 degrees Celsius was recorded within the past century. Annual rainfall averages less than 25 millimeters in many areas, with some regions seeing no rain at all for decades. It's an environment that demands adaptation beyond imagination, but scientists have shown that the Sahara was not always a desert. More than 6,000 years ago, it was lush with forests and lakes. Ancient rock carvings at Tassili Najar in Algeria depict animals like giraffes, African elephants and crocodiles, species that cannot survive in the Sahara today. Fossilized pollen samples from Lake Yoa in Chad reveal a climatic cycle driven by Earth's orbital changes, in which the Sahara becomes wetter, then gradually dries out over time. However, human-driven climate change is accelerating this process, pushing the desert southward into the Sahel region. Hidden within the Sahara lies one of the world's most mysterious geological formations, the Risha structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. Roughly 50 kilometers wide, this spiral-shaped feature is visible in its entirety only from space. Some scientists believe it's the eroded remains of a massive geologic dome that has weathered over millions of years. Beyond its otherworldly appearance, the Sahara is also home to life forms with biological designs seemingly tailor-made for survival in extremes. The dromedary camel is perhaps the clearest example. The most distinctive feature of the dromedary camel is its single hump, which can weigh up to 36 kilograms. Contrary to popular belief, this hump stores fat, not water. When food is scarce, the camel metabolizes this fat into energy and water. By concentrating fat in one area rather than throughout the body, it minimizes heat retention, easing the burden of cooling in extreme heat. Dromedaries have an exceptional tolerance for dehydration. They can go over a week without drinking, and when water becomes available, they can consume up to 200 liters in just a few minutes. Their oval-shaped red blood cells help maintain smooth circulation during water loss and can endure high pressure during rapid rehydration. Their excretory system is optimized. Urine is highly concentrated and feces are dry, both minimizing water loss. They regulate their body temperature between 34 degrees Celsius and 41 degrees Celsius, reducing the need to sweat. Their nasal passages are coiled in a way that allows them to reclaim moisture from exhaled air. Dromedary camels have long legs and wide feet that help insulate their bodies from the hot desert ground and allow them to move easily across soft sand. A thick coat of fur protects it from the intense daytime heat and insulates against the cold desert nights. The camel's eyes are shielded by 2 rows of eyelashes, and it can close its nostrils, a crucial defense against sandstorms. Its thick, leathery lips enable it to feed on dry, thorny desert plants like acacia and tamarix without injury. In nomadic cultures like the Tuareg and Bedouin, the dromedary is more than livestock. It is central to survival and tradition. They provide milk rich in vitamin C, meat, hides for leather, and wool for textiles. As pack animals, they transport people and goods across vast desert distances. Because of their adaptability and versatility, they're known as the ships of the desert, an indispensable link between ecology and human culture in the Sahara. While wild populations no longer exist in Africa, dromedaries are widely distributed in semi-domesticated forms, particularly across North African countries such as Mauritania, Mali, Algeria, Niger, and Egypt. According to 2025 data from the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the global dromedary population is estimated at around 13 million, primarily used for herding, transport, and sustaining nomadic livelihoods. Alongside the dromedary camel, the large animal Unlike the brightly colored reef fish, the dugong, or sea cow, draws attention through its quiet presence, steady movements, and enduring nature. The Red Sea, with its enclosed geography, hypersaline waters, and high temperatures, has become the final genetic reservoir of dugongs in the Western Indian Ocean. Today, only about 600 to 700 individuals remain, scattered across Egypt, Sudan, and Eritrea. Though this number is modest compared to the thousands living in the Great Barrier Reef, it represents a critical source of genetic survival as populations around East Africa and Madagascar gradually disappear. As a strictly herbivorous species, dugongs depend entirely on seagrass meadows in shallow, sunlit coastal waters. In the Red Sea, they show a strong preference for narrowleaf seagrass, a species rich in nutrients, easy to digest, and tolerant of salinity levels around 41 psu. When scarce, they can shift to consuming seaweed or tougher seagrass varieties. Dugongs possess several remarkable biological traits: a thick layer of fat that regulates body temperature, molar teeth designed for grinding seagrass, and the ability to hold their breath for up to 6 minutes. Unlike whales or dolphins, dugongs in the Red Sea usually remain within a range of 15 to 50 kilometers along the coast, primarily for feeding or reproduction. GPS tracking in the Marsa Alam region has revealed that most of their movements occur at night, at depths of less than 10 meters, a strategy that helps them avoid boat traffic and conserve energy. After the gentle glides of the dugong through seagrass meadows, the survival journey of the Red Sea continues with another ancient creature, the hawksbill sea turtle. Unhurried and solitary, this sea turtle quietly safeguards the life of coral reefs in its own way. The hawksbill sea turtle is listed as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, with the global population estimated at only about 8,000 mature nesting females by the year 2025. In the Red Sea region, however, their nesting density is notably high. Recent surveys recorded more than 1,200 nests on the Four Sisters Islands of Saudi Arabia alone, with a slight annual increase in returning mothers, a hopeful sign. What makes them unique is that, unlike tropical turtles nesting on moist beaches, hawksbills in the Red Sea lay their eggs on bare, sandy islands, where temperatures can rise above 45 degrees Celsius, and rainfall is extremely scarce. To adapt, they have developed a rare reproductive strategy, producing yolkless eggs, making up to 23% of each clutch. Although these eggs cannot hatch, they are believed to serve as natural water pouches that help retain moisture in the nest, protecting developing embryos from heat and dryness. Unlike many other sea turtle species that feed mainly on seagrass or jellyfish, the hawksbill primarily consumes sponges, which are organisms capable of overgrowing reef surfaces and competing with hard corals for space. By eating sponges, hawksbills indirectly maintain space and sunlight access for corals, helping reefs preserve biodiversity and structural stability. The presence of hawksbill sea turtles has been linked to live coral cover being over 15% higher compared to areas without them. Researchers affirm that their sponge-feeding behavior acts as a biological regulator, countering the process of spongification, an increasingly common ecological issue in degraded reefs. In terms of migration, hawksbills in the Red Sea are classified as medium-range migrants. Their journeys typically span between 50 and 200 kilometers, traveling between feeding grounds and nesting beaches. It can take an individual 20 to 30 years to reach maturity, and only then do they return to the exact sandy beach where they were born, a process known as natal homing. This deep loyalty to their birthplace makes every nesting site and every uninhabited island in the Red Sea precious and truly irreplaceable. As the patterned shells of the hawksbill sea turtle. The final wonder named in the list of Africa's most extraordinary ecological treasures is not found on land, but hidden beneath the water's surface. A thriving underwater ecosystem flourishes right at the edge of the Sahara. This is the Red Sea Reef, the only coral reef system and also the most remarkable marine wonder of the continent. A vibrant ecological stretch lying within one of the driest regions on Earth, where rain is rare and summer air temperatures often rise above 45 degrees Celsius. The Red Sea Reef extends along the western shores of the Red Sea, from the Gulf of Suez down to the waters of Eritrea and Sudan. The Red Sea is among the few marine regions in the world formed by the rifting of two tectonic plates, the Arabian Plate and the African Plate. Tens of millions of years of separation created a deep trench running along the Red Sea, with its deepest point reaching 3,040 meters, making this sea both isolated and geologically stable over long periods of time. This isolation allowed many species here to evolve independently, developing unique traits and increasing the rate of endemism. While coral reefs in the Indian Ocean, the Caribbean, and even the Great Barrier Reef have all experienced widespread bleaching due to rising sea temperatures, the reefs in the northern Red Sea, especially in the Gulf of Aqaba, have shown a remarkable level of resilience. The corals here can withstand temperature increases up to 32 degrees Celsius without losing their symbiotic algae, a condition that often leads to coral collapse in many other regions once water temperatures surpass 29 degrees Celsius. Their resilience traces back to populations in the southern Red Sea that possessed higher heat tolerance, allowing these northern corals to inherit and accumulate this trait over time. For this reason, researchers have referred to them as supercorals, a form of corals with exceptional resistance to heat. Today, this marine region is home to more than 1,200 species of reef fish, about 10% of which are endemic, found nowhere else in the world. This is a rare figure, even compared to some of the largest coral reef systems globally. In addition, around 346 species of hard coral have been recorded in the Red Sea. These reefs form the very foundation of the entire underwater ecosystem, serving as living neighborhoods for hundreds of other marine creatures. The waters of the Red Sea are so clear that sunlight can penetrate to depths of 30 to 40 meters, fueling the photosynthesis of symbiotic algae called zooxanthellae, the primary source of nutrition for corals. Thanks to such abundant light conditions, the energy cycle within this marine ecosystem operates more efficiently than in many other seas, helping maintain biological stability throughout the entire system. Amid the dazzling coral maze of the Red Sea Reef, a tiny creature tells its own extraordinary survival story, the Red Sea clownfish. With a bright orange-yellow body and two bold white stripes that resemble a suit of armor, this fish is a vivid example of the power of adaptation and biological evolution. Though it reaches only about 14 centimeters in length, the Red Sea clownfish thrives under extreme conditions. Its ability to regulate physiology and balance ion exchange stands as a classic example of a resilient adaptive system. Instead of remaining tied to a single species of sea anemone, the Red Sea clownfish follows a flexible home strategy. Juveniles take shelter in the leathery sea anemone, soft and secure. Adults then shift to more venomous anemones, which provide stronger protection for their eggs. This stage-based choice of habitat reflects a rare and sophisticated form of behavioral evolution in such a small fish. will gently cut through the waves on their return to the sea after nesting season. Another ecological symbol of the Red Sea silently patrols the deeper waters, the grey reef shark. Unlike creatures tied to sandy bottoms or shallow reefs, this reef shark embodies agility and control, keeping the ocean's web of life in balance through millions of years of evolution. As a mesopredator, the grey reef shark helps regulate populations of smaller fish, removing the weak or unhealthy, thereby maintaining ecological balance across the reef system. In drop-off zones such as Ras Mohammed or Elphinstone Reef, reef sharks often gather in groups during the day, then hunt at dawn or dusk, moments when smaller fish are less alert. In the deep blue waters along the steep reef walls of the Red Sea, the grey reef shark glides close to the drop-off, riding the currents to conserve energy before darting out of the shadows in a swift strike at unsuspecting prey. With its streamlined body, sharp teeth, and highly sensitive electroreceptors in its snout, it can detect hidden prey buried in sand or tucked into reef crevices. Its hunts are sudden, precise, and rarely require a second attempt. Sometimes, these sharks do not hunt alone. Entire groups may move in silent coordination, turning a corner of the reef into a stage where nature's primal yet refined hunting instincts unfold. Beyond its ecological role, the grey reef shark is also a star of Red Sea diving tourism, contributing to sustainable local economies at renowned sites such as the Brother Islands and Deadliest Reef. It stands as a living emblem of reef health, silent, agile, and irreplaceable in the demanding ecological landscape of the Red Sea. After watching schools of grey reef sharks patrol the reef walls, we descend into deeper layers of the ecosystem, where a solitary, powerful, and enigmatic creature quietly orchestrates the food chain from behind the scenes. This is the tiger shark, the apex predator of the Red Sea, an ancient hunting symbol tracing its lineage back more than 60 million years. With extraordinary adaptability and one of the most diverse diets in the ocean, unlike reef sharks, the tiger shark travels alone, hunts opportunistically, and can cover hundreds of kilometers in just a few days. According to 2025 tracking data, one tagged individual traveled over 600 kilometers in 10 days from Egypt to the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. As night falls over the Red Sea, the tiger shark rises silently from the depths like a ghost from prehistory. It does not rely on sudden bursts of speed or group hunting. Instead, it moves with quiet determination, an opportunistic predator with cold, steady eyes and jaws strong enough to slice through a turtle's shell. Everything can become part of its menu: sea turtles, dugongs, rays, smaller sharks, seabirds, and even drifting carcasses. One swift bite, a twist of the head, a powerful cut, then it vanishes as if it were never there. It does not always strike, but when it does, the tiger shark rarely fails. In an ocean under change, it is not just a hunter, but also a regulator, a cleaner whose presence is essential to coral reef balance. Though not common in the Red Sea, every sighting carries symbolic weight. They help regulate populations of turtles and dugongs, species with few natural predators, thus preserving ecological balance and sustaining nutrient cycles across reef systems. While their image is sometimes controversial due to rare encounters with humans, 2025 statistics show that the chance of meeting a tiger shark while diving in the Red Sea is only 0.3%, with virtually no aggressive behavior recorded. On the contrary, their majestic form, silent power, and unique ecological role are turning this shark into a magnet for ecotourism, offering visitors the chance to witness one of the ocean's most ancient and enduring predators. Africa's wilderness, where wonders seem to have stepped straight out of the Bible, paints a grand picture with dust, flesh, and light. But behind that magnificence lie growing challenges. Roads and farmland cut across the migration paths of wildebeest, while drought thins out the grass, leaving lions with fewer prey. Ngorongoro faces pressure from tourism and settlements, pushing the black rhino into a fragile state. Mount Kilimanjaro has lost more than 85% of its ice since 1912, while forests around its base shrink under logging and mass trekking. The Nile River is fragmented by dams, heavily polluted, and losing its wetlands along the banks. The Okavango Delta struggles with drought, oil exploration, and unstable flooding patterns that threaten both predators and wetland ecosystems. The Sahara keeps expanding, desertification swallowing its green edges, while climate change and political instability make conservation efforts difficult. The Red Sea faces coral bleaching as ocean waters warm, while unregulated tourism and plastic pollution strip away sections of reef. 7 wonders, 7 anchors of life, are now trembling piece by piece. What took nature millions of years to build could vanish within a single generation. To protect the Great Migration, the Masai Mara Conservation Center in 2024 adopted the Earth Ranger Monitoring Network together with LoRaWAN technology, helping track wildlife and prevent poaching more effectively. In the northeast, Tanzania established new protected areas to ease ecological pressure, while the Ngorongoro Conservation Area Authority launched a model of limited, responsible tourism. On Kilimanjaro, though more than 85% of its ice has disappeared since 1912, reforestation programs around its foothills and visitor management efforts are being strengthened to preserve its tropical forest ecosystem. Along the Nile River, farmers are beginning to adopt agroforestry practices to restore wetlands, encouraging the return of species like hippos and Nile crocodiles. In the Okavango Delta, the Okavango Eternal Initiative aims by 2030 to restore water flows, provide sustainable livelihoods for over 10,000 people, and protect one of the largest remaining populations of African wild dogs. Across the Sahara, the Great Green Wall had restored more than 160,000 hectares of land and planted over 15 million trees by 2024, while in the Red Sea, AI and coral gardening are being applied to rescue reefs from climate change and marine pollution. Amid the shifting rhythms of nature, every small action from communities contributes to larger change. Choosing responsible tourism, supporting transparent conservation projects, reducing waste, and practicing sustainable consumption are ways we can help protect the Serengeti, the Nile, or the Red Sea without leaving our homes. Africa's ecosystems are humanity's shared heritage, and life there cannot endure without the awareness and participation of each individual. Today, right now, through every daily choice. And if you've ever set foot in Africa and explored one of the 7 wonders mentioned above, don't hesitate to share your knowledge and experiences in the comments below. They will be a source of inspiration and motivation for conservation efforts, helping protect wildlife and ecosystems for generations to come. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. The wattled lapwing nests on the river sandbank. The eggs are almost indistinguishable from the surrounding sand when viewed from above at normal angles. 2 to 3 eggs per season. Incubation period, 26 to 28 days. Required incubation temperature, a continuous 37 degrees Celsius. When the parent is driven from the nest, the eggs cool below 34 degrees Celsius within 15 to 20 minutes. Below 34 degrees Celsius for more than 30 minutes, the embryo dies. This is a strategy that entrusts everything to a paradox, nesting directly in the path of 20,000 hooves. Intuitively, egg survival probability in high traffic zones should be lower than in quiet areas. But the data reverses this. Hatching rate on high traffic sandbanks reaches 62% versus 41% in quiet zones. Hyenas and jackals, the lapwing's primary nest predators, avoid areas with many large, constantly moving animals. When the elephant drinks, no one contests, not from mutual respect, because the rule needs no stating. An animal weighing 6,000 kilograms decides through body size, not debate. This elephant is a solitary bull, an adult male that left the female herd between the ages of 12 and 15. A solitary bull drinks more than herd members, 150 to 200 liters per day, compared to 80 to 100 liters for an adult female. A 6,000 kilogram body requires continuous hydration to maintain stable core temperature at 36 degrees Celsius, when air temperature exceeds 40 degrees Celsius. An elephant's skin area reaches 8 square meters, a massive heat-radiating surface. The elephant's ear, dense with blood vessels, is the cooling system. Continuous ear fanning can lower blood temperature by 3 to 4 degrees Celsius in a breeze. The ostrich is the fastest in the group. Maximum speed 70 kilometers per hour, so it stops farthest back. Caution reflexes compensate for speed. No need to wait close when you can outrun everything. This is the unwritten waterhole hierarchy, not the less aggressive yields, but the smaller yields. When 20,000 zebra simultaneously need to drink, at a river stretch no longer than 2 kilometers, there is no one small enough to yield to anyone. Pressure at this point pushes everything to its limit. The zebra herd yields no space to a calf of another species. This is not cruelty in any moral sense. This is the mechanics of scarce resources. A wildebeest calf inside a zebra herd carries no species recognition scent, no acoustic signal processed as membership, no social position within any harem. Zebra have no mechanism to process another species as an ally under resource competition. The calf is pushed to the edge, not through attack, but because there is no mechanism causing any zebra to yield space. The result? The perimeter. The perimeter at the Boteti River bank, when 20,000 animals are pressing together, is the zone that directly borders the brush where lions are lying. Crowd pressure has selected the target automatically. The lion needs to do nothing except wait in position. This is the distance zebra must travel in the second month at the Boteti to find sufficient grass and return to water. Grassland near the river is stripped bare in the first week. 20,000 animals, each consuming 8 to 12 kilograms of dry matter per day. Grassland within a 5-kilometer radius cannot survive beyond 6 days. The herd must travel farther every week. Farther means more travel time, more energy burned, more water lost, through respiration and sweat under 42 degrees Celsius. But staying closer means depleted grass, with protein below 5% of dry weight, insufficient to maintain muscle mass in a 250 kilogram zebra. Minimum nutritional threshold, 7 to 8% protein, to prevent muscle breakdown. Riverside grass in month 2, 3%. Net loss per day of eating riverside grass, 0.3 to 0.5 kilograms of muscle broken down. The herd must travel 60 kilometers to find 7% protein grass, far enough away not to have been grazed. The contradiction loop: the longer near water, the more malnourished. The farther to forage, the faster the dehydration. There is no solution, only endurance until the rains arrive, or until the herd dies down enough that resources suffice for those that remain. Zebra gestation, 375 to 390 days. Water demand increases 35 to 40% compared to non-pregnant. Protein demand rises 50% in months 10 to 12 to to support brain and muscle development of the fetus during its most rapid growth phase. Current riverside grass, 3% protein, low moisture. Many mares are losing body weight, while the fetus continues drawing nutrients from the mother via the placenta. The fetal priority mechanism in mammalian physiology. When the mother's nutrient supply is insufficient, progesterone and prolactin maintain placental structure and stimulate the mother's body to break down fat tissue and ultimately muscle tissue to sustain glucose for the fetus. This is not sacrifice in any emotional sense. This is a hormonal mechanism without choice. The practical result: these mares are thinner, slower, and their center of gravity shifts with the growing fetus, degrading the ability to change direction suddenly at sprint. The Boteti lions have been here long enough to know this. The Makgadikgadi lions learned something new this season. On the open salt pan with high visibility, prey spots predators at 2 kilometers. Speed cannot compensate for the visual disadvantage. Result: failure 3 out of 4 times during daylight in the first week. Zebra visual coverage from the far bank is near zero for what is lying in dense brush 10 meters away. More important than visual cover, the zebra cannot go elsewhere. On the salt pan, zebra can avoid a bank with lions and choose the other side. At the Boteti in the dry season, there is only one water point, one stretch of river with enough water, and 20,000 must go there. The new tactic: no stalk, no chase. Sit and wait at the bottleneck. Crowd pressure does the rest. When one animal in the herd panics, the panic signal travels through the herd in 0.3 seconds via sound, sudden movement, and chemical signals from the scent glands in the hooves. Thousands shift simultaneously. Animals at the edge are pushed beyond the protection of numbers. The open space between the herd's edge and the brush collapses in seconds. That distance is a single lunge. We have just witnessed the most unfiltered cross-sections of brutal herd law and savage survival on the Botswana savanna. Which animal in today's episode changed how you see the wild? Was it the iron discipline of the lion world, or the brutality of the zebra alliance against its own allies? Leave your experience in the comments. Your understanding is a tribute to these wild animals. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join me on the next expedition, where we continue decoding the most mysterious survival codes. And if you want to explore more about other wild animals, continue at Win or Die, full episode. Deadliest battles for survival or lion attack, the Mapogo battle for survival.